Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Dear Source, your ascendancy hotline, where you get your daily dose of spiritual guidance, where we dive deep into real life questions and struggles using ancient wisdom and universal principles to find clarity, peace, and alignment, whether you're navigating relationships, inner conflict, or seeking purpose. This is a space where we honor your compassion, non judgment, and insight. Drawing from the universal laws, A Course in Miracle, the Law of One, and the Hermetic principles, we're here to find answers, connect to your truth, and elevate your path to healing and growth. Now, let's explore today's letter and connect with the wisdom of Source. And today's letter comes from struggling to let go and still be there. So the letter reads, Dear Source, I'm feeling completely lost when it comes to parenting right now. My kids are becoming young adults, and I'm struggling to find the balance between letting them grow into their own person and not creating a sense of codependency. It's like I want to guide them and be there for them, but I don't want to hold them back from finding their own path. Lately, I feel like they don't need me or even want me around anymore. And it's left me feeling disconnected and unsure of my role in their lives. I know they have to become independent, but it's hard to know how to be supportive without smothering them. It's like I'm not sure where the line is between being helpful and being overbearing. How do I navigate this transition? How do I still be there for them while I'm giving them the space they need to become their own person? I don't want to lose my connection with them, but I also don't want to create any dependence that might hold them back. Please help me find a way forward, struggling to let go and still be there. So, oh gosh, what a beautiful letter. Thank you for reaching out. And I will tell you, I think parenting is one of the hardest jobs that we sign up for. And I know jobs isn't the right word, but when we decide to bring souls into this earth, how we do that as a conscious parent, I think it really is becoming the question at the forefront of many people's minds. And what I would offer first and foremost is that what a beautiful gift and a beautiful honor you have in being their parent. And one of the things I would share is you're never getting it wrong. I know we hear a lot in society and space how we're going to send our kids off to therapy or I'm really screwing them up. But the first thing I would offer or share is these souls, when they incarnated here, are whole and complete. And one of the things I know most people don't like to hear, but it's just the truth, and it's a beautiful way to look at life, is that we all contract in here with our parents and the way that life is supposed to go. And it's we on this earthly plane assign duality to it, good or bad, right or wrong. And there is no such a thing. Like, we live in a friendly, benevolent universe. We live in relationship with everything in the universe. Everything is friendly and happening for the highest and greatest good of all. And so the first piece of advice I would offer, and for you to remember as a parent, is like, you're never getting it wrong. Both of you, child and parent, are learning from one another. Everything exists in relationships. So just like they are learning from you, you are also learning from them. They are a mirror. They are here and I often say this, and I truly believe this, is our children are some of our greatest teachers, because you're going to have the most intimate relationship to them. And so, how do you give yourself space to know that you're never getting it wrong, that what you are doing is by perfect design, that you're learning, that they're learning, and that you both agreed to that learning in this lifetime. And my firm belief is that you've probably had many other lifetimes with this soul, with maybe roles reversed, different relationships, but you're truly not screwing them up. And I think one of the things that I would offer is that they are whole and complete beings. And how do we see them as such? And how do we guide them? I think, again, what we're coming up against in our society today is pretty much the entire system of the way that we've always done things. And how do you create the right relationship as their parent to help them thrive? And that the physical 3D construct of whether they're talking to you, not talking to you, not responding to your text messages, maybe giving you the silent treatment. I mean, it sounds like these are teenagers or soon to be young adults. And so I'm sure they oscillate and are trying to find their inner voice, their way of being in the world. And your job as a parent is just to hold this beautiful, unwavering space of unconditional love, and to know that how to be, I think, a great parent is by working on yourself and being a great human being. Because as you activate and work on yourself of who you are, you then give your child access to doing the very same thing in their lives. You, by being who you are meant to be, give your child access to finding their beingness, and to know that they are perfectly held. The universe, God, source, has them perfectly held. And it is our fear constructs, our control, things in our very human essence where we think we're in control of these beautiful souls and the beautiful lives. And really, we were gifted them for love and guidance and to learn the most about ourselves, not to control them, not to dictate how they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to do, but to create the freedom and space for them to find that within themselves, and to know that through your internal work, so when you think about what is your child triggering in you, and trust me, I am a parent of a 17 and soon to be 15-year-old. There's a lot of triggering going on in my household. And it's what is that bringing up in me that I maybe haven't seen or realized that most of the time comes from a space of either lack, anger, so being attached to an outcome, or from trying to control, like out of a place of fear. And when I really look at what gets triggered within me, I can usually boil it down to one of those three pretty broad emotions. And it gives me the ability to look at that and identify where is that coming from internally within me as their parent. And then how do I look at requalifying that and seeing that from a space of God and love, and to go, gosh, Erin, you love your children so much, you would die for them. But God has them perfectly held. So you don't need to live in a place of fear. We live in a friendly and benevolent universe. You worrying or creating fear for yourself or for your child or whatever, how is that in alignment with knowing that we are one with everything and in union with everything, and that the universe is infinite abundance, the universe is infinite love, the universe is infinite compassion and peace and prosperity. So from acting from those low vibrational states, I'm actually taking myself out of being in right relationship with the universe and knowing that it's a benevolent, loving space, and to be able to step into that so that I can then teach my children the exact same thing. So if I think about what are we working on overcoming, we're here as a human race working on overcoming our vibrations of lack, our vibrations of attachment to outcomes, our vibration of fear and trying to control and think that we're separate from God and the universe and that we know better. And as your children trigger you, you get the opportunity to really grow and requalify and relearn that. And as you do that, you're giving your child access to learn the same thing. So if I think about, we all talk about generational patterning, generational healing. You might be the curse breaker of your family. In the spiritual community, you'll actually hear a lot of talk around that. And what's so beautiful about that is like when we access healing for ourselves, we actually are starting to access that for our children. So if we see ourselves as whole and abundant and enough and worthy and complete, we're also accessing and giving that to our children through our actions, through our vibration. And so when we do the work, we're actually doing that for our children as well, for them to see that, where they see the universe is abundant and whole and not fearful. And I think just such a beautiful way to look at life is the essence of wholeness and completeness. And I think when we're here, what beliefs do you believe as a parent, and what are you teaching to your children? Are you teaching them the exact same things? So I would just offer that in this transition, as they really start to step in, how do you continue to create space and learn from them, grow yourself? Because as you grow yourself and you shift your vibration, you're going to give your children access to the exact same lessons, and you're going to be able to have these conversations with them about growing them. Like when they are coming from a wounded or hurtful place, how do you shift the conversation of like, why is that triggering to you? What is being wounded or what is being triggered within you? And how do you bridge that gap, that conversation with them? And so I think, like I said, I think children, parenting, they're some of our greatest teachers, and we are to exist in relationship with them. And we've actually created the labels of parenting or spouse or you name it. But here we all exist in relationship. It actually really doesn't shift whether it's your spouse, whether it's your kid, whether it's your friend, whether it's you're a sister or sibling. We're here to be in right relationship and to remember that we are in a benevolent universe that's one essential essence, and that we're all are a part of that. And for us to act in accordance with that oneness of knowing that when I am Do I treat my children the way I want to be treated? And you're teaching them that lesson as well. I treat you with respect, which means you give me respect. You want to be treated with respect, you need to treat me with respect. Like when we love our neighbor, we love ourselves. And how do you keep them focused on the journey is about you as an individual. This is all happening to grow you. You're not a victim. So we have the opportunity as parents to really shift this through conscious parenting and the way that we look at them. And do we see our children as whole and complete and divine emanations of God? And are we reinforcing that with them through our actions? And do we see ourselves in the same way? And are we treating our kids in that same manner? So I think the lesson here is it's just a reinforcement of why we are here, the spiritual growth that we're supposed to have. And that's why we have children. That's why we have family, is for our highest and greatest growth. And so lean in. When it gets really uncomfortable, that's your lesson as a parent to go, what is being triggered? What is here for me to heal within myself? What belief here is not true? And I get to requalify that with love and grace, and to continuously hold space for my children to remember the divinity in which they are, and the wholeness in which they are, and the perfection in which they are, and to offer that and to be unconditional love. So thank you, struggling to let go and still be there. What a beautiful letter about parenting, and you're doing a beautiful job. You have a lot of awareness, so continue to lean in. And if you have more questions, or maybe I didn't answer something specifically that you wanted addressed, please reach out. Please write me back. And I'll take questions and wrap up on Friday as well. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your vulnerability. And I thank everybody for joining us today on the episode of Dear Source, your Ascendancy Hotline, where we align spiritual principles with real world experiences. Remember, no matter the challenges you face, peace, clarity, and wisdom are always available when you connect with your higher selves. If today's discussion resonated with you and you're seeking deeper personalized guidance, I'd invite you to book a private session with me. Together, we will explore your spiritual path and unlock the answers that you've been searching for. And if you're ready to connect with like-minded individuals in a spiritual community, coming soon is the Ascendancy Collective, where we can support each other's growth, healing, and ascension. You don't have to walk this path alone. Join us and let's rise together. Until next time, trust the process, honor your truth, and stay connected with Source.